Hi, and welcome to the video course Configuring Windows Devices, meant to prepare you for the 7697 exam on Windows 10. My name is Patrick Lohner, and I'm happy to be your instructor on this course. We'll start with a little bit about my background. I've been in the IT industry for 15 years. I've been working in the Windows operating system since Windows NT and on. Now, most of those years have been under the function of a Microsoft certified trainer. Worked full-time at that for several years, and now have worked as a contract trainer and network consultant for several years as well. In that time, I've been able to not only design network setups, but implement network setups, perform upgrades on client and server operating systems. I've worked with other Microsoft products like SharePoint and Exchange fairly heavily as well. In relation to Windows 10, I have been using Windows 10 since some of the early insider previews. I've come to really know and love this version of the operating system. I think they've done much better on it than they did with Windows 8 and 8.1. But in that time, I've been able to gain the experience that's necessary now to go through and show you how you can get the most out of Windows 10. So the course is designed, as I said, for the 7697 certification exam, which is called Configuring Windows Devices. It's broken up into several different areas, and that's, of course, how we'll break up the course. We're going to start by looking at just an introduction to Windows 10. What's different about Windows 10? What are some of the main features that have changed? Then we'll go into installation. How do we prepare for the install? What are the different versions that we've got? And then the actual installation methods that we can use. Then we'll look at configuring devices. Okay, so getting in, and when we use the term device in Windows 10, it really means desktop or tablet or phone. The major premise with Windows 10 is that this operating system can be installed across multiple devices. Our primary focus is going to be the PC, but we'll look at how to get in and configure the device using the Settings app, using Control Panel, using various administrative tools, and Windows PowerShell. Then we'll look at configuring network connectivity. Windows 10 is going to be connected to a network just like other operating systems. It connects much in the same way using the TCP/IP protocol. It requires name resolution. Sometimes the connectivity is wireless. We'll talk about all of these things as well as troubleshooting. And then we're going to look at managing storage, data, and printers. We'll look at the storage spaces feature and other disk management options that you've got in Windows 10. We'll look at how to set up and manage printers, and we'll also look at how you share files and folders and utilize NTFS permissions in order to secure that process. We'll look at managing apps, deploying apps, installing apps from the Windows Store, and controlling the applications that can be installed. We'll look at managing device security, utilizing the internal Windows Firewall, other programs like Windows Defender, user account control, most of which are not new to Windows 10, but we need to understand how to utilize these components in the operating system to make sure that device security is not minimized. We'll look at maintaining Windows 10, doing updates, performance monitoring, troubleshooting, and then we'll look at some of the recovery options that we have as well. Following this, we'll look at deploying Windows 10 in the enterprise. So initially, we're going to have covered just kind of the basic installation, an attended installation, but in some enterprise networks, we're going to have the need to do image-based installations. And so that's what we'll talk about in that section. We'll look also at managing user profiles and user state virtualization, essentially different options that you've got in the enterprise in order to be able to make sure that users always have their data. We'll look at using group policy to manage desktop and application settings. Group policy is the configuration management tool in Active Directory. It gives us a lot of control over our devices. And then finally, we'll look at configuring and managing Client Hyper-V, the virtualization platform that is built in to Windows 10. So we have a lot to go over as we walk through all the different parts of the Windows 10 operating system and get you ready to be able to configure these devices in your own organizations, as well as to pass the 7697 certification exam. So let's get started.